Hello and welcome to the Kramer Shrine. This is a photo of Paul Kramer on the left with Scott Kisting at his chalet on the back deck overlooking the Kramer Shrine. Scott is currently the president of the board of directors of the Kramer Shrine Foundation, which accepted ownership and management of the shrine in June of 2019. This unique and beautiful setting was built by Paul Kramer over a period of about 20 years and was financed entirely by Paul's sale of some of his Land's End stock, by his personal physical labor, and by the inspiration obtained by his visit to Medjugorje in 1990. All three bishops from the Diocese of Madison have visited the shrine and have conducted Mass at the chapel. The shrine continues to be improved by the Kramer Shrine Foundation. Please enjoy the video as Paul describes his shrine from an interview recorded with him in his chapel in September of 2024. The shrine is open to all who come with an open heart seeking God. The shrine is located northeast of Dodgeville, Wisconsin, and on the northeast corner of Governor Dodge State Park. To learn more about the Kramer Shrine, Google One Man's Shrine.
All right, well, I'm going to start with Land's End, because if it wasn't for Land's End, I wouldn't have been able to do this project. I was with a large company that was about to be acquired, so I found Land's End, and they were $4 million in sales and bankrupt. So we were 6 months behind. They were 6 months behind in paying their bills, so you needed some infusion of money. So 10 of us bought 20% of the companies. So for $25,000, I got 2% of the company. That was in December of '78, and also in December of '78, I moved. The fulfillment operation was already up here in Dodgeville. I moved up accounting, data processing, customer service, and shortly thereafter set up the phone operation. In '86, we went public, and then I became wealthy overnight. And of course, we continued to go. I was there 11 years, went from 4 million sales to 550 million sales. Well, anyway, when I came up here, I was raised on hunting. Not deer, because deer didn't come down from the north yet. There were a few deer, but mostly it was rabbits and squirrels and a lot of fishing. That's how we existed. So when I came up here, there was really a lot of deer, and I couldn't find a place to hunt. So I bought this land here just to hunt. And then I built the chalet. So I was watching TV, and I saw this program on Medjugorje, and I was so taken up by it. I said, I gotta go there. So got back from Arizona. I went there in May of '90. Now in Medjugorje, there's one big mountain where back in the '30s they had some storms there, so the local people drug big stones up that mountain. I don't know how they did it, and built a huge stone cross. And then over to the side is another mountain where the first apparitions appeared. Mary appeared to a bunch of young teenagers. And then this Medjugorje is not a town. There's just a few houses spread around. They built a huge church. Nobody could understand why did they build that church. So anyway, when I went there, people were always saying the rosary, going up the Mount of Apparitions, going up the mount where the cross is to the church. Priests there continually saying confessions, 4, 5, 6 masses a day, and it was so inspiring. But just rosary after rosary. So I came back. Now I'm pretty good at seeing something and modifying it. I've never seen anything like that rosary. Somehow, God, I was inspired to build the rosary. 3 times I built the darn thing. First time that was in 1990. I just had the white marble. I came back next spring and I said, I can't maintain this. I can't mow around there. So I put in the edging of red granite. And I came back the next year and the grass was growing up because I only put it 2 inches deep. So stone by stone, I pulled it all out, brought in twice as much stone, and rebuilt the way it should have been with plastic underneath, 4 inches thick. The stone between the rosary and the trail here was 101 tons. And I had the stone dropped up in front here, and I had a lawnmower with a little trailer behind it. And I'd fill up 5 or 6 5-gallon cans of stone down the hill, lay them back up and down. So someplace along the line there, well, almost the first year, my first or second year, the Knights came out here to say the Rosary, and they have every year, I think, since. A priest came out here and said you should have the Stations of the Cross. Well, the Stations of the Cross in Medjugorje were bronze, and I didn't like that. The stations at Lourdes are wooden. They're sort of like Holy Hill, only better, you know. Well, there's no way I could ever do that. So my son, I was in Milwaukee, my son took me to St. John's Cathedral, and there they have the stations very similar to this. And then I found Conrad Smith Studios, suburb of Milwaukee, and I told them what I wanted, and they said, yeah, we have artists all over Europe, and we know. So they got this guy from Spilimbergo, Italy, that's north, up in the Alps, north of Venice, to make it. He and his son spent 1.5 years making them, and they are, without a doubt, the finest. They're much better than, they're higher quality than those in the cathedral in Milwaukee. And they said, we'll never do this again. The work is so fine, so much time, and they only cost me $140,000. So you'll never find artists to build quality like that. They'll never be built, never be duplicated. I designed it, and I stole some ideas from churches and designed the pews. I really put them, I didn't build them, I put them together. You know, I had all the individual things done. I did build the altar furniture. The stone there, I went to a Hawkwood Stone Company in Sussex, near Milwaukee, and I found this is a stone from Georgia, where they get white marble, but there was a vein there with these pinks and blues and sparkles, and that ran out soon, so that stone is not available anymore. The altar scene up there, I made this cross, but the Jesus, Mary, and John are wood carvings that this Conrad Smith Studios in New Berlin had made in Europe. So the wood, I'd cut down the trees, had them sawed up. I dried them. Mostly some I was able to send out. Then I sent them out to be planed down and tongue groove, and I pre-finished it. And my neighbor over here, who builds the Culver stores, put up this chapel. The stained glass windows were made by Conrad Smith Studios. I've selected, which major apparitions of Mary. The bronze statues now, I got that just when the chapel opened. And that's, I found that in a chapel in Scottsdale, St. Maria Goretti's. And I found out the young artist, and so I had to make another one. And I don't think you'll ever find a better quality bronze statue. You look at bronze statues, the hands are worn, they're just smooth, If you look at that, the veins running around there, fingerprints, you just don't find that. That's just unbelievable quality. And Conrad Smith Studios got me the statue of Mary outside. That really was the first statue that went up. And then St. Michael the Archangel. My wife, I wanted something to protect the place, so I found this statue in the Holy Redeemer Church in Madison. I took dimensions of it and pictures of it. And again, that artist, Carlos, did that. And he also did the Joseph and the child Jesus. The bronze mausoleum, there's very strict laws on cemeteries, on public mausoleums, but there isn't any law on private mausoleums. But I needed approval from the zoning people here in town, and so they turned it down, and I went back with them and pictures of the mausoleum, and they finally decided, well, this is not a structure, so we don't have any control over it. So I understand that this is only one of 2 private mausoleums in Wisconsin. Oh, the pictures. The nuns in Cincinnati went over to Europe about 1905, something like that, and they copied a lot of their art, and they had an auction, so I bought that painting at an auction. I was the Holy Land in 2000, and next to the Church of the Annunciation is St. Joseph Church, which they believe was where he at his workshop, and that painting was there. So I took a photograph of it. The Adoration of the Shepherds, I got a Christmas card from Mother Angelica, and then that's by Heinrich Hoffman. And then I found a print of Christ in the Temple, a print of it. So a photograph, a Christmas card, and a print at an art studio in Scottsdale. That's red elm on this side of the altar, hickory in the ceiling, red oak on the sides, cherry in back, and the pews are red elm, I think. A newspaper man down in Arizona that surveyed all the priests and ministers, many priests and ministers, on the 10 Commandments, and not one knew all the 10 Commandments. So I found that right up in the church in St. Andrews in Verona. So I had the guy that did all the granite work here make those up into stone tablets. And the CCD kids come out, and they spend more time at those 10 Commandments, and because apparently they're really not exposed to the 10 Commandments in their classes. And the 10 Commandments, that's God's law. All you have to do is obey the 10 Commandments. And you never hear the 10 Commandments anymore. Well, you don't hear that there's sin anymore. Well, I did that shortly. That's for my brother and sister who died. And the first thing was a statue I bought at that sale down at Cincinnati. And that didn't, this was the first one I had there. And then I got the statue, I put the wooden, it's not wood, stone statue, and put that in there. That didn't work. So Conrad, when I bought that statue, it was not painted. So Conrad Smith Studio painted it for me, and then I put it in the house. And now it's back out there. Now it really looks nice out there. Died at 61. I was close to him. We played baseball together a lot. And my sister died. My brother died at 61 of kidney cancer, and my sister died at 44 of a brain tumor. But my older sister died of a brain tumor too, but she made 80. Here I am, 93. Well, only the good die young. I built that wall, and there's no grout in there, so those are big stones. So every stone had to be exactly right this way and exactly right that way. And I think it's still level. That was a real job. Of course, I was inspired to build a rosary. Then I kept on. I wanted this a place of where people could come and pray, and hoping to get some benefits out of that.
He looked at me one day and he said, I don't know what to do with it. We looked at churches to take the stations. We looked at options. I've got a list of places that if for some reason the board ever failed, that could be considered, but I couldn't be more proud of the board. I mean, Tom Simmons has passed on now. May God have mercy on his soul. We got a plaque for him over there, but he was instrumental in what you see around here. The shed up here was Tom Simmons' idea, and so glad that he did it. Tom Justin's sitting there. Teresa's behind us here, and Therese, from a financial responsibility standpoint, I can't tell you how much we needed her. She's brought a levelness to us and has taken the time to challenge me on what the history was and where we're supposed to be going, and she's doing it from a good physical standpoint. And now we've been blessed with some new board members, and they have young kids, and I think that's the bigger part for me is the new board members have young kids, and the young kids are coming out with them. So that's what's exciting. The thoughtfulness of seeing that the rock needed the cross. I think that's something that's often overlooked because people's eyes go to the rosary, people's eyes go to the station now, and the chapel is so beautiful. But Chimney Rock was incomplete until it got the cross in it. So that's something that I really enjoy about the place is I come out and look at everything over here, but seeing the cross is a big part of it. The cross is aluminum, so the anchor rods the way they're done, and then we've just got to keep from dissimilar metals causing corrosion, which we'll have in place. But she'll be good for 100 years because you won't have any corrosion, and short of a tornado deciding to set on top of it, she ain't going nowhere.
Else you'd like to add?
I think I covered everything.
I would love to get a couple with him. I would like to get him up on the balcony one, because he'll talk about the hole that we cut that day through the woods and why. And then I'd love to get one of you by St. Joseph, if you don't mind.
Sure. Out in Dubuque County, Dyersville, my ancestors came over from Bavaria on the father's side about 1850, the original settlers out there. And so Dubuque County is full of cropfuls. In fact, there's at least 3 priests out there by the name of Cropful. A couple of them are dead. One is, I think, is still alive. So when I went into Chicago with Arthur Anderson, my first review, the partner said, "You got to change your name. It's too hard for our clients to pronounce it and spell it." So I changed jobs. I don't know. I didn't get around to it. I changed jobs. So, but then, see, I was down there 20 years. So when I came with Land's End up here, my wife insisted we change her name. So she took care of it. So I kept the same nationality. First 3 letters are the same. And she took care, went into the judge, and the judge didn't even ask any questions. It was the easiest thing in the world to do. So it was easier for the kids. Kids were, get teased, but crap full, and I don't know what else the kids would call them. And it made it easier on me too. Well, I had one brother change it before I did. He changed it to Kraft. And my older brother kept the name, so my mother would say, I only married once, but I got kids with 3 different names. Well, that's German. Hauschen is a German for a cabin in the woods.
I'm so happy to get all of these questions answered, Paul. And when people come and visit, they want to know about your history and about everything on this property. And this is fantastic.
Hauschen is similar to what the Swiss call it, chalet.
Yep.
And it really is a chalet. And you see the railing. I played a lot of cards. Hearts, diamonds, clubs. And they broke a lot of wood making those wood split, cutting those out.